Welcome to PTDubs, personality type dubs. I'm Thalo, an ENTP,
And I'm Paul, ISTP.
and this is the podcast where we talk about myers-briggs, where we talk about enneagram,
Right.
where we talk about everything in between. And today we're going to be talking about not myers-briggs. I
No.
don't think, maybe a little bit, but mostly enneagram. Mostly today is an enneagram day.
Yeah. I want to I feel like the best, hammering out that integration would help out being able to apply all the other integration.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I mean, right. So I was talking to about this somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
She's a three. She's a three wing four, and she was talking about being a low key tryhard
Yeah.
and how she wants to be real with people. Like when she's with people, it's like very natural for her to like be a version of herself, to like try to be a better version of herself.
Yeah.
Not like in a righteous way,
Yeah.
but in just like a, putting on a mask kind of way.
Yeah.
And so she puts on these masks of a better version of herself
Yeah.
to other people. And that's very natural for her, but she doesn't like that.
Okay.
Um,
She doesn't like that
she
quality
just,
of herself.
right. Which I think is maybe another thing about disintegration and integration. You don't like the
Either.
dis. You don't like either. I think you don't like disintegrating, but integrating is very unnatural. Does that resonate with you?
I feel like your soul will decay in disintegration,
Yeah.
but integration is pain.
Yes. Right. So it's either my soul's decay,
Right, which
or
it doesn't. It's not so bad.
yeah, it's
It
not so
doesn't.
bad. It's my fucking soul.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
well.
Yeah, it's little by. It's so little.
Right.
Like I feel like that's what makes it seem like
Right.
bearable.
I'm this,
Yeah.
and in disintegrating, like I'm losing a pixel at a time. A pixel of my soul
Right.
at a time is going away. Bye bye, but it's
Right.
just one pixel.
Right.
So it feels good. It
Yeah.
feels fine. Because integration is pain.
Integration's like
Integration
you're
is
tearing
work.
off things, and you're gonna get more things, but
Right.
you have to tear shit off. You're
Right.
not tearing off pixels when you're.
Yeah, no, you're not tearing off pixels. Right. Integration is work.
Yeah.
Integration is tearing off chunks of you.
Yeah.
Um, and it's pain, but it's rewarding.
Right.
Whereas disintegration is like, this doesn't make me happy.
Right.
Right? If I'm a three, I don't like that I'm being fake. I don't like that I'm, what's it called, cultivating relationships for vanity,
Mm-hmm.
but it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm decaying a pixel at a time.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
I'm decaying a pixel at a time, and it doesn't hurt. But what is that? So what I really want to know is, what's three's relationship with nine? Like
When
in the integration disintegration thing.
three disintegrates to nine,
So three disintegrates into nine.
and I
So
think,
three's like they don't care about shit.
well, no. I've read that, but I think that's wrong.
Okay.
Because I think the most important thing is that disintegration is emblematic of your natural tendency.
Mm-hmm.
And a three's natural tendency isn't to not care about shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a three's natural tendency at all.
Yeah.
A three's natural tendency is to be a tryhard. And I think that what it means that a three is naturally disintegrating into a nine is that they lose their identity. They are putting on these masks.
Yeah.
So nines are naturally out of touch with who they are.
Uh-huh.
They don't get themselves. They don't understand identity. They don't. Yeah, just an identityless nine. I think a three does have a sense of who they are, right? Just because they're not a nine.
Yeah.
I know nines are like the most. They're the worst about identity.
There's this thing I like. This one circle says
Oh yeah.
it puts 9 in between. It's in between focusing and releasing. It's also in between new beginnings and then endings.
Can I
Yeah,
see?
yeah, yeah. There's another one that was in between, but I
Um,
couldn't. It's
so 9 is between. Where were you seeing
you might just need
this?
to
Oh,
scroll just a
new
little bit.
beginnings and endings, and focusing and releasing. So what does that mean?
I mean, I feel like that helps. I mean, it paints like
Focusing and releasing.
just a little picture of like what it means for 9 to like not have identity or to like not be have their feet planted in anywhere.
Interesting. Right, 9 will always be at the top. We are the fucking best.
And I feel like it has the like I think where it's seated in this is like saying, oh no, it's at the crossroads.
Mm. So it's at the crossroads of focusing and releasing.
Which is also in new beginnings and
New
endings.
beginnings and endings.
But
I guess new beginnings and endings are sort of a more natural crossroads, right? Every time a door closes, a door opens, something like that.
mm-hmm. So for 3,
So for 3.
so they're a
So a
feeling type,
3.
thinking type, and yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 is a
Yeah.
feeling.
Feeling.
What else do they call that?
They call it feeling. They call it shame. They call it heart. They call it image.
Those all of them.
Yes, that's 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 are called all of those.
Okay. And what are 6s?
6s are called thinking. They're called fear. They're called anxiety. They're called head.
Okay. And then us?
They're called gut. They're called instinct. They're called anger. I don't know if there's a fourth one.
Do they all share the same? Does integration and disintegration all share the same path? Like, does
Yes,
all
everything that
thinkings integrate to
integrates.
gut?
No, 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 no. Oh, not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that. I was just gonna say,
Yeah, what were you
and
saying?
if something integrates into something else disintegrates into something. If X integrates to Y, Y disintegrates to X. That's what I thought you were asking.
Okay.
But you weren't asking that.
No.
No. For example, 7 integrates into another thinking type, but it disintegrates into a gut type.
That's weird. See, I'm
Right?
so fixed. That's how I learned the integration was the 369. So I thought like, oh,
Oh.
this follows.
Right. No, 369 is just the sensible one. But then the others are very strange because you got 1 going to 7, going to 5, and 7 and 5 are both thinking types.
Uh-huh.
Going to 8, going to 2, going to 4, and 2 and 4 are both feeling types. Going to 1.
And they're all like everything in the triangle. Like they're all separate triangles. Integration, disintegration triangles, or are there some triangles that overlap?
No. So
Okay.
1, 4, 7 and 2, 5, 8 are all on the same cycle. So there's one cycle that is 3, 6, 9, right? That's actually a triangle.
All right.
That's the only one that's actually a triangle.
Okay.
And then 1 goes to 7, which goes to 5, and so there's kind of 2 other triangles, the 4, 1, 7 triangle and the 5, 8, 2 triangle,
Mm-hmm.
but they're connected. 7 is connected to 5, 4 is connected to 2. And so there's no complete, there's no other complete triangle like
Yeah.
that.
So that's the flow. The flow goes. So there's 2 things going on.
Yeah.
There's one weird star flow, and then there's
Right.
one triangle.
Right. There's a 6-sided star and a 3-sided triangle.
Do they distinguish those 2? Or not really.
I don't know. Like, I feel like they really should. I don't think they talk about them that way.
Yeah.
Saying, like, the attachment triangle and the other thing.
Like,
They don't have names for them.
we're in a river. They're not in a river. I mean, we're in 2 different
Yeah,
rivers.
right. We're on the Tigris, they're on the Euphrates. It doesn't get talked about like that. That's true.
Cool. Okay. That helps me think about when I think about integration and disintegration as a whole.
Okay, cool.
I feel like enneagram is a joke in itself now that like enneagram.
Enneagram. I'll take Enneagram.
Right.
That one, or that one, or that one. It doesn't matter. Enneagram.
Right. Right now I'm just quickly looking over the this is enneagram, and it has all the types that are like
The
associated with
common MBTI types. So 9 is associated with the FI-DOMs, ISFJ, and ESTP. Why is ESTP associated with type 9? There are no ESTP 9s on the server. I don't know that this is that good information. Let's see.
All right.
Type 1 is associated with ISTJ, ENFJ, ENTJ, ISFJ. So SI DOMs and NI secondaries.
Which ones are ENTPs? I know I'm 5. I'm only represented on 5.
You're only represented on. Yeah, right. 5 is TI DOMs and your. Oh, it's all the introverted thinkers.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
5 is all the introverted thinkers, of course. ENTP I know is represented in 7, 8, and 3. I think that's the only ones. Yeah, they got them in 7, 8, and 3. Those are your classical. I mean, 7 is the actual classical ENTP.
Yeah.
But then, 3 and 8 are supposedly pretty common.
Okay.
So all the assertive types. So ENTPs are associated with the assertive types.
Yeah.
3, 7, 8. Interesting. And then I wonder if anyone else is associated with either all the assertive types, all the compliant types, or all the withdrawn types. No one is in all the withdrawn types. Wow. No one is in all of the compliant types. Okay. So ENTP is the only one that's in all of the assertive types. All of the. I don't know if that's called the Hornavian triad, where it's assertive, withdrawn, and assertive, withdrawn, and compliant. Because they have like 3 triads. One is that one. One's called the Hornavian triad. One is the positive outlooks 927, the competence 135, and the reactives 468.
Okay.
And then the other one is the realists 258, the idealists 147, and the attachments 369. So those are like the 3 other triads that aren't just like feeling, thinking, instincts. But I don't know the name of those 3 triads.
Okay.
I know one of them is called Hornavian. I don't know why.
So I guess when I'm going to talk to you about integration and disintegration, I'm only going to be talking about us, like in this flow.
Okay.
So
Good.
is it possible to talk to it like? Do you think this? What can we get any information out of like looking at it like this?
Totally.
So like a gut
Absolutely.
anger instinct integrates into a feeling, shame, image, heart.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's more for disintegration when you're looking at these keywords?
I want to say you can get more out of this with integration. Because the other, so...
Does my key lie into the other people's, like, fears? Not
well, right.
actual fear,
right,
I know it says there, but, like, their...
Right.
Yeah.
I know. Their fears and motivations, right. I know. It's, like, kind of bad that one's called the fear triad.
Right.
Like... I
Yeah,
guess
right, that's why we got hung up on 6 to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's why it's better to call it the head triad or the thinking triad or the anxiety triad.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think that's good, right? So you have this gut type that needs to get more in touch with its feeling. You have this feeling type that needs to get more in touch with its thinking. You have this thinking type that needs to get more in touch with its gut. I think that's a good way of thinking about it.
So how would need to get in touch with his gut?
Right, so how does a 6 get in touch with their gut? So right, the big integration point for a 6 is to recognize that they can move forward without certainty.
Okay.
And I guess, right,
Going with their gut.
right, because if
Their
you think about
instincts.
it, right, they're very much a thinking type, right? Because these are all the centers. These are all super emblematic of what their triad is.
Yeah.
And so the sixes, right, they're thinking, they're overthinking.
Yeah, right.
They're all like, oh my god, I need things to be thought out. I need, I don't know, 5 and 6 are like kind of similar in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But like 6 is like, I need things to be for sure. I have to have them. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I have to have them be all well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can do something. And that's their disintegration. And they get all anxious about it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So, okay, yeah, that's what they're doing too
Right.
much, or what their like
Right.
core is. What
and
is
then to
that?
move to
What is when they're doing that?
they're disintegrating.
How is it that that's
How
a
are they
three
disintegrating?
thing?
How is that 3-ish? I think that's 3-ish in that, in the way that they go about it,
I mean,
behaviorally.
can it be explained? Do these explain that or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, so that's why you're saying it talks more about
Yeah,
integration.
yeah. I
Okay.
don't think that does a good job of it.
Okay.
Because all they're doing when they're disintegrating is that they're being tryhards.
Okay.
They're really trying to bring about certainty and
Okay.
security. Because I think 6s are naturally very insecure.
Okay.
Like all the like stupid like typical teenage advice, I think is like directed at 6s, and it's like,
Give me
right,
some
like,
examples.
be yourself. And I don't know. Whenever people talk about like insecurity
Yeah.
and all that, it seems super emblematic of 6.
Okay.
And like people are just like assuming that everyone's a 6,
Yeah.
and they're like, you just need to be more secure or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think people actually just say be more secure. Whatever the hell people say.
Right. Don't care what other people think about you.
Exactly. Don't care about what other people think.
Yeah.
Right? Because 6s, right, they want loyalty, that type of person-to-person certainty. And I think the best way of getting that is for them to care about what other people think.
Yeah.
For them to figure out what other people think and what other people, which other people are loyal. It's social certainty.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like sort of very 3-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's to 6-ish ends. It's to the ends of security and certainty. It's not about vanity. To a 6, social certainty has nothing to do with vanity, which would make them a 3. But they just act like a 3 in that they're trying to figure out what people think about them. Because then they're sure about it. And right, I don't think that has to do with feeling or shame. Maybe image. Maybe, yeah, it does sort of have to do with image.
Oh, type 6?
Yeah. A type 6 trying to figure out who's loyal to them or not. I mean, it's not about image in the same way, because it's not about vanity.
No. They
But
don't
it
care about what they
is-
look like.
Right.
Right, but they want to be included.
Yeah.
They
I
want
think that's a big thing. 3, 6, 9 all want to be included.
the attachment.
The attachment. Like, Katie was saying that, like, oh, my party last night was so successful. So many people came. Like, a lot of times they like invite a lot of people, but they don't, not a lot of people come.
Yeah.
And, like, she's talking to me about how she really wants, like, a stable group of friends. How she's never had, like, a stable group of friends. How, like, the person who's her friend that she's known the longest, she met after high school.
Yeah.
And, like, right, she wants that kind of stability.
She just needs to call up 3 6s and 9s.
She needs to call up 3, 6, and 9s, right? She wants to be included in that sense. And, like, she was so happy that, like, the party was, like, so big and
Oh, I
successful.
see. As a type 6, her. Yeah.
As a 6.
Okay.
Exactly. She wants that kind of social certainty.
Okay, so then we're integrating. So what? We're supposed to like get more in touch with our feelings.
I think that's one manifestation of it.
Okay.
Cause like
We need to have more shame.
we have to be more
More ashamed of
shameful.
ourselves.
Cause like, cause nines tend toward apathy,
Okay.
right? And like, no, you gotta embrace that you care. You gotta embrace caring and shit. That's a big one, I
Yeah.
think. Right, because, yeah, doing things that are the opposite of apathy, the opposite of not being willing to put yourself out there, obviously being willing to put yourself out there
Mm-hmm.
is the opposite of that. Why is this open? Oh, there's like nothing in there. Okay.
What would be in there?
I have no idea. I have no idea what the heck all these contraptions are.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's a good way of looking at disintegration?
Disintegration. What's a good way of looking at disintegration? I haven't been able to like figure out a good way with like with that and all like the lines and the graphs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At least not yet. What I have figured out, I think a good way to think about disintegration is to just think about a type's natural tendencies. Really, I think disintegration has a lot to do with the type itself. So like three.
Oh yeah, right.
Right. So 3 disintegration to 9. People have written that that's about a 3 becoming apathetic. No. 3 disintegration doesn't look like apathy at all. That's what 9 disintegration looks like. They're getting it all wrong. 3 disintegration is just them being fake. Is them, not embracing their identity. Right. 3 disintegration is about 3. It's not really about 9. Though it does share the trait of, not having its own identity.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 disintegration is very much exerting. It's a lot of exerting. It's just exerting a lie. It's exerting its fakery. It's exerting its image.
What can I replace these words then with? What's a good like?
Really, for disintegration, let me think.
Yeah.
A 3 is assertive, competence, and attachment. Maybe competence for 3,
Mm-hmm.
Positive outlook for 9, and reactive for 6. Maybe that's okay triad with regard to thinking about disintegration. So we have reactive, positive outlook, and competence, and so 3s are really trying to look competent.
Okay.
But it's not because that's who they are. It's because that's who they want to be seen as.
Okay.
And a 9 is all this positive outlook in that it's like merging with things. In that it's go with the flow.
Yeah.
Right? Go with the flow is a very positive outlook if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because right, if there's a flow that you're willing to go with, then it's fine. This is good.
Yeah.
Who cares? This is fine.
Yeah.
I'm willing to go with the flow. And then 6 being reactive. I think I don't really know how to think about that. Like maybe they're reacting against lack of security, and maybe once they're if the world were actually secure,
Yeah.
if they had financial security, relational security, blah blah, all these types of security.
Yeah.
Maybe that right then they could finally be their integrated 9, even though apparently it's less about real world things and more about your psychology.
Yeah.
And so, right, an actual integrated 6 doesn't matter how secure things, real world circumstances are. Okay, it probably matters to a degree, but it's more about them being okay with uncertainty. Um, and so maybe it's them reacting. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just them reacting to uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because the reactive types are 4, 6, 8. 4, 6, 8.
Okay.
And what 4s are reacting to, I don't really know. I don't know why a 4 is a reactive type. But 6s seem to be reacting to lack of security and uncertainty. And 8s seem to be reacting to imposed control.
Mm-hmm.
To control being imposed on them. Yeah, I think that's a good way to think of disintegration.
Okay. So then a 9 to 6 disintegration looks like.
Positive outlook.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
So
mean.
they're having
That's
a
what I mean.
positive outlook.
Disintegration is more about your own type
Okay.
and your own type's natural tendencies. And integration is more about the type that you're integrating into.
Okay.
Um,
So do you think the arrow's a little bit misleading?
I don't think it's misleading, because it does make sense. Well, no, it is misleading. It is misleading because it makes people think things like disintegrated 9s are anxious. Disintegrated 9s are not anxious.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Disintegrated 3s are apathetic. Disintegrated 3s are not apathetic. That's bullshit. I don't know what misconceptions people have about disintegrated 6, but yeah, those ideas of 3 and 9 are bullshit.
Right. And if those are bullshit, then why would 6?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or like a disintegrated 7 being like very critical.
Disintegrated.
Disintegrated 7s are not critical. They just want to impose their will about what's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit to say that a disintegrated 7 is critical.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
I guess when it comes to like what pictures look like and what it looks like they're seeing.
Right. Right.
So it's more carnivorous or cannibalism
Cannibalistic.
than it is. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Than it is like shrinking into something else. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, the disintegration arrows are good, I think, if you understand them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're learning it, I think they breed a lot of misconceptions. Yeah, because the 3-1 about apathy is like the dumbest one ever. Unhealthy 3s are not apathetic. Unhealthy 3s
They're more
care
erratic.
so much.
Yeah.
They're Regina George. Regina George is not apathetic. She's not.
Interesting. So yeah, it looks more like you have your base, which is you, and then you just need to go to the other one.
Right. It's me and I grow. It's me and I grow. It's me and I grow. Right. So 9's base is apathetic, like a 9. An unhealthy 9 is like a 9.
Yeah.
It's like a 9. I mean, they are like a 6 in that it feels very safe for them to be that way. But it's still more like a 9 than anything else. But then when they grow, they do look like a 3. They do start to look 3-ish. But when they disintegrate, they don't look anxious.
Which that's good. I feel like that's a pretty good. Yeah.
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 Yeah. They still are on this scale, though. The 3...
Right, that involves...
The 9 is still on the scale of playing it too safe to being willing to take risks.
Okay.
But...
And that's health.
Right.
Which is not necessarily...
But, I mean, right, that's still a scale, but still, a 9 playing it too safe looks like a 9.
Got it, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think it would be very hard to make a 9 look anxious, because their natural state is to be very calm.
I'm trying to think, is there just like a shadow place that's like we have never been onto, which we don't know what a very bad 9 looks like?
Yeah, because, so is a curious case. She thinks she's a 3 with 4,
Okay.
but she might be a 6. She might be a 9.
Okay.
She's not sure.
Yeah.
But like, she was saying that like in high school, like she would try real hard.
Yeah.
And she got like 25 friends.
Okay.
Right, just like real big circle of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Really liking her so much so that she thought she was SXSO.
Yeah.
She's actually SPSX. And it wasn't until after high school when, different environment, different outlook. She's like, oh, I don't care about having these 25 friends. Instead, she ends up having like 5
Mm-hmm.
friends. And like it does take like a long time for her to trust them. That's like an SP Dom thing.
Yeah.
And she's still like a try hard, but she's not over here, building up this giant pool of friends, to all, I don't know, to have that kind of social status because she's not in high school anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like, then she was saying that like, oh, for like the last few months, or maybe it was like the last year, I don't know, she's been like waking up in the morning like feeling anxious. And she's like, yeah, is this a 3 thing? Is this a 6 thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is this an unhealthy 9 thing? And I was thinking, I don't think it's an unhealthy 9 thing. But right, this is new. She hasn't always been anxious, whereas 6s have like always been anxious. And so she's like asking where this anxiety is coming from. And right, it's wrong to think that 6 is the only place that anxiety can come from.
Right.
Humans can be anxious for all sorts of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 6s are very naturally anxious.
Right. There's tendencies. You have
Right.
you've had tendencies.
Right. But right, people can still be fearful. People can still be angry. People can still feel shame or anxiety.
You can get pushed in these other spheres.
Exactly. People can still feel depressed without being 4s. People, right? Yeah. All these things. But that's just
Right, now you're getting to like human. That's
right.
just human shit.
Right. That's just human shit. That's just human shit.
Right, but if we're talking enneagram, you gotta look at things in a more refined scope.
Right. And so probably a 3.
Mm-hmm.
She resonates with being a 3. I think that is a good explanation of how an SP Dom could have 25 friends in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Because right, what other type?
I know. I was gonna
SP Dom is gonna have 25
right.
friends in high school. You must be a 3. You must be a 3. All the social status.
Yeah.
Of having that many friends. That's too many.
Uh-huh. Well, is that what she thinks she is?
Yeah, she thinks she's a 3.
I mean, are you buying into it, or are you just thinking like
I don't know. She and I are both questioning.
Yeah, okay.
Are both questioning. Is she a 6? Is she a 9?
Right.
I really don't think she's a 9. Because what 9 is going to have 25 friends? What SP Dom 9?
Well, I guess in what way is she trying to be vain? If she's a 3, you know?
Right. The only thing
Looks?
when I've asked about that is her saying that she's a low-key tryhard.
But like at what? Like sports? I mean, if it is everything, then what is that
I
everything?
think just at her job and at school and stuff. At the classical...
Like grades, like academics?
Yeah.
She likes to be a nerd?
Grades and work.
Okay.
Yeah, these things that, other people can look at and see and point to and be like, those are accomplishments you have.
Mm-hmm.
I've wanted to ask more about it. I don't know, she also, like, resonated with this one song where, like, there's some line about it, there's some line in it about, like, trying to put on a different version of himself or something. and she was resonating with that.
Okay.
And that sounded like 3 type fakery.
Okay.
Yeah, things like that.
Right. Or type 6 insecurity.
Or type 6 insecurity. Right. That's the big question, is where is it really coming from?
Yeah.
Are you being a tryhard? Yeah. She thinks she's a 3. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyone can have anxiety. The anxiety is not that indicative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, it's very interesting. She does seem very SP Dom on the server. One of the most interesting things is that someone's behavior on the server is the most indicative of whether or not they're SX, SO, or SP.
Their behavior. Okay, so all
Their
SPs do
server
this.
behavior.
All SOs
All
do these.
SPs are really like private and secretive.
And they usually have TV in the back.
Yeah, like they don't post selfies. They don't post any face reveals.
Okay.
A lot of them never speak on voice,
Yeah.
though they may come on voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't talk about themselves. They're very secret and anonymous.
You put them in
They
like.
pride themselves on their anonymity.
You have somebody type them like, "Hey, how's it going, kid?" Like, nothing. It's like, "Hey, you there? Hey, I'm talking to you." And then it's like, after that, they're like, "All right, whatever." And then it says, such and such has added SP tag to blah blah blah. It's like,
You there? Right, tags changed.
we could do that.
Yeah, no, they're very private. And then like, the SO DOMs, like, they'll talk a lot when like a bunch of people are talking, and like, yeah, they just like post all this like shit that's just like
Wait, who are we talking about right now?
SO.
SO. Okay, SO.
SO DOMs. And like they'll say just like very like general shit that like anyone can contribute to, and like I don't know, they keep it open
Okay.
to like whoever.
Okay.
And right, they're just saying very general shit that anyone can add to,
Okay.
anyone can subtract from. And then the SX DOMs, they're the fucking best. They're the best. They'll engage other people in these long one-on-ones with someone. Apparently, a lot of the SX DOMs slide into DMs.
Yeah.
So I don't get to see that.
Yeah, right.
They slide into DMs.
Yeah.
Cause it's one-on-ones. They're busy sliding into DMs. But then
but on a more social, like more public platform.
Right. And then but then like I think that's a lot of the SX SPs.
Well,
they're more prone to sliding into DMs.
Okay.
Whereas the SX SOs will talk in the chats, and then a one-on-one will end up occurring.
Okay.
And then it'll be 2 people basically having DMs.
Yeah.
But in one of the chat
but I'm
channels.
okay. I'm social about it.
Right. But everyone can see our one-on-one.
Yeah.
This is fine. Whereas the SXSPs are like, no, only us 2 can see our one-on-one. And yeah, and then the SX DOMs are just like talking about whatever shit that like, right, they're talking about themselves, they're talking about, just some shit that not everyone can contribute to. Yeah, they're getting into it.